Bricks and Minifigs is your one-stop shop for all things LEGO. Hit the link below to find a store near you.
Hi, I'm Anders. I'm part of Twin LUG here, and we have the Vikings Odyssey, which was the big collab build that we've been doing for the last year and a half. Started January of 2023, and this is really the journey as it starts with the Viking village. So this consists of a handful of builders who all did the village here, and then the cliffs. We all coordinated to basically make this Viking village that's bustling. We have multiple docks with Vikings coming in. We have some cheese traders getting, let's just say they're being captured, and they're selling their wares at the beach shop over there. So lots of different interactive stories you can kind of see playing out. A couple of longhouses in the back, and then you have a little mining operation that's, I believe, being attacked by a dragon. So lots of excitement you kind of see here. In terms of the actual build itself, like I said, we kind of collaborated. So we had separate teams working on both the village and the cliffs. So we kind of had to coordinate, like, oh, who's going to make the cliffs, who's going to make the village, and then try to figure out how to actually work that. So that was a little tough, but we made it work, and I will say I am very happy the way a lot of it turned out. You can actually see, it's not on right now, but there actually is two people sparring, and they actually do move. I need to turn that back on, but
yeah. I like the elements, like the buildings in that tall tower there, kind of built on top of the rock, which looks really nice.
Yes, that was done by one of our LUG members, Hubert, as we call him. He is absolutely fantastic. You actually can see him at the GBC contraptions. He does all that, and he decided to make that stack them up. So absolutely agree with you there.
And then what can you tell us about some of the tree designs you've included here? And I know we'll see some more on the other side as well.
Yes, so that is all done by Bill and Judy. They are also some LUG users, and they definitely knocked it out of the park. Like, just look at the detail here. Like, you see like how they're kind of stacked up and just like super firm. That is all Bill and Judy. They created all of them for us and then just said, tell us where to put them. So that was like really just the design, and we really wanted to make sure each section was like a biome in a sense. You kind of have different colored trees that indicate the shifting seasons or just the shifting landscape as we go higher into the mountains. So.
And then that takes us out to the water. So there's lots of different ways to do LEGO water. What was you guys' approach here?
Yeah, so we prototyped a lot of water designs. Originally looked at maybe some snot, trying to figure out our stud snot on top, figuring out if we could do that, or maybe just leaving it barren and doing just blue base plates. But we ultimately decided that we wanted a layer. We wanted to see if we couldn't just make it look like it's crashing against the waves, which is actually why we included that like rocky alcove just to see, that rocky island, just to make sure it kind of seal the deal that is it in fact we have water crashing in. So the deep water over there with the dark blue, that was all our water team. So that consisted of a couple other members who all came in together and painstakingly put tiles on base plates for a couple hours. So shout out to them, they did fantastic. They all decided to make a big deep water patch, and honestly I think it turns out great. I love, just as you can see, like just the water kind of flowing in and out. That is all them, and I think it makes the build just infinitely better. So it's not just a big plane of water, it's like you can just see like it goes deeper, but you don't have to actually add too many bricks there.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's happening in the water now as we get to some of these ships out here?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so we have the idea of the Odyssey here is that we have the Vikings from the Viking village, and they're kind of entering into Valhalla, like the Viking afterlife. So you can kind of see that, some of these are, burnt ships that, are either, they could be Viking funerals, or they could be just Viking ships that are just, on fire, artistic license there. But yeah, what's going on is you have these giant creatures attacking. You have Poseidon out there who is just destroying one of the boats, and then you have various monsters, whether it be the Kraken, or you have I think the Frost Giant, which is on the Valhalla side, just all taking care of these Vikings who are all engaged in an endless battle in the afterlife. So.
And the brick-built sails are particularly unique here, so that obviously gets very heavy. How do you hold those up?
As you can see, we use some of those rope pieces, I believe, are the string. Use that to keep them up too. And those designs were actually done by one of our LUG members who's not here, Max. He did all that, and I will say they are very striking. Just the way like you connect them, how they curve up. That's all thanks to like those small pieces there. They are absolutely fantastic, and it also helps with the fact that we don't have to put a lot of weight on the backside. You can kind of see how the backside there, we have some more bricks to kind of keep it tilted back so it's not just going to fall over. But they do fall over on the occasion, which is why we got to be a little fragile with them.
Yeah. And now we go to very different geography over here with all of the white. What's happening in this section?
Yes. So with this section here, this is Valhalla itself. We kind of have like a Valhalla Great Hall, which is like the hall of these Vikings who are all there. And the idea is that all of the enemies of the afterlife are attacking these newly dead Vikings who are all engaged in endless battle. So you have lots of dragons, you have a frost giant there, you have some Fenris wolves who actually, I believe these are the original wolves from the 2005 or 2006 Viking sets. Yeah. Just thought it'd be kind of a full reference. We even have some Rock Raider monsters. It seems like they kind of slipped into there too, you know? But yeah, this was all done by another team of ours. They kind of collaborated, and the idea was we really wanted to make sure it stood out because a lot of white pieces kind of all just blend in, so we wanted to add the gold trimmings. We wanted to make sure that the enemies weren't just like skeletons that would just blend in. Like, we chose colors that stood out there. And then also you can see, again, the trees with the icicles coming down, which is a really great, just a really great technique because, in a sense, the pieces they use with the icicles, I think they were used in like Ninjago sets or something like that. They're not supposed to be icicles, but we use them that way, and just again showing the technique that we can use. And then yeah, we have a little cave under there too, which you can see. I believe there's like a guy falling. He's like trying to get up, and his buddy's trying to help him too. So just again, the environmental storytelling we can play with just bricks is awesome.
Yeah. Do you know how many minifigs are on the whole layout?
Oh, I feel like we said 300. It could be more though. I think I'm gonna say 300.
Mm-hmm. And then what is the overall size of the whole thing?
Can't remember exactly. I think it's 9 deep, and then I think 17 or 18, I believe. It's pretty large. And I will tell you this, this is like our first like official go. We had a trial run back in May, and it somehow got bigger. It just kind of kept expanding. I was like, oh, okay, cool, here we go. So I love seeing this all complete. It's been a journey, to say the least, an odyssey, if you will. So.
Yeah, and the figure in the back there is really nicely sculpted. What are some of the different kind of human-built elements there?
Yes, so I did not build that. I will say this now. It was done by another one of our LUG members, and what I like about it, very specifically, is the fact that he did it with yellow flesh to match the rest of the minifigures. I think that is just so cool because, again, it shows the attention to detail, that we're not just like slapping random characters and making mythical creatures. We want to like actually match what we're trying to put for the rest of the model and make it consistent and coherent. So I also love, just again, you can kind of see the sails falling down. That's all brick built. We decided to not go with any cloth sails just to make it much more heavy, make it more impactful. So absolutely really love that. And then you can kind of see the human elements with all the hair using the slopes. Again, just really great detail using bricks that you may not think to use as hair, but you just use it there and it comes out perfectly.
And then you've got all this fantastic rock work back on the right side. Now, especially with a collaborative project, you have to make sure that everything's going to fit together well. So what was that process like in making sure that different sections built by different people wouldn't, have big gaps and that kind of thing?
So I will tell you now, during our first trial run, there were some big gaps, but that's just kind of how it works. With a collaborative project, you kind of have to come back and say, okay, how do we fix this? How do we work with this and get everything set up? What we did is we had a map, and we just kind of cataloged each base plate based off of which height it would need to be and how tall it would need to be on each side. And then as we went through, you would just see the amount of height. So we would just be able to do that, and if there's any like bricks that were showing that weren't supposed to be, we just put bricks in and fill in, and slowly by surely they all kind of just came together. I will say I believe the mountains were the very first thing put in on the village side. Those were the very first things created, because we were then able to put everything else on and kind of put in. So you can see that side, that's made by that little module there with the house and the rock mountain. That is all done by Pat, I believe, and then another one of our rock members who did all the rocks and mountains. That was another one of the very first modules to be put in, which allowed us to then create everything else outside of that.
What is happening with the flames up there on top of the mountain?
Yes, I don't know if the Jarl, which is the Viking lord here, is actually standing. I think he may have fallen down. But that is supposed to be kind of like the call sign of the village to say, hey, everyone awake, we're up and going, got the bustling village. So that is all lit with a lighting kits that we were working with from a person over in Minnesota, I believe it's Brick Stuff. I really wanted to actually try to, because that's actually one of my modules. I wanted to make sure that what I was doing with the fire pit wasn't just like putting bricks around it and calling it a day. So if you notice, if you look closely, it's actually a DOTS wristband that I put like gray ingots on and wrapped it around, so it can be kind of mobile. So I don't, or not mobile, like it can be kind of malleable. So I don't have to just like keep it rigid. So it helped me put a bunch of bricks that wouldn't really fit all that well in there, and then just kind of put some cones and cylinders in there to kind of add the effect. So that's definitely it. It's definitely one of the goals on that, was just making sure that we used kind of thought outside the box on some of these builds.
So you've got this massive expansive layout, but is this the kind of the end of the journey for this layout, or will there be more added to this? I know it looks like our soldiers, our Vikings, have been turned on down there now.
Yeah, so I will say that in terms of like the future of this model, I think this is probably it in terms of expanding it. I could definitely see like more things get added, like maybe a couple more houses, maybe a couple more ships, but I guess it would be kind of hard to go from here, but you never know. I mean, we could just add like the Rainbow Bridge, and get Asgard in here and make it whole like level. Honestly, like free thinking here, it'd be really cool to go up. Like, we have all this land, why go up? Which would be quite a bit of a task. So I think for now, I will say that for now this is it, but you never know. We could always go more. That's the beauty of Lego.
Absolutely. Great work here, and thank you so much for taking us through the whole layout, and shout out to all the builders involved with this. Fantastic.
Yeah, there was 22 of us, so definitely shout out to Twin LUG builders. We did an amazing job, and I'm just super proud of the hard work and the teamwork we all put in. So
thank you so much.
anytime. Thank you much.